one stop, family shop. Think Thayer, come on, let's get rolling. Come on, let's get moving. Think Thayer.
It was good to get back on the field around the guys, get back to doing what we do, and with all the things that have been going on in the last week, it was good to just get back out on the field, put the whistle around my neck, and get back to work.
Did you walk into that practice wanting to do something different, or feeling that you needed to do something different, or did you feel like you were the same guy?
Well, you're around the same people, around the same team. You just get back to your ideas. Hey, we're just going to keep doing what we've done. It was different though, and that was probably a mistake of mine going into that practice. So yesterday's practice, I think, went a lot. The day before we got there out there Sunday. Mm-hmm. So then the following day, it was much better. It was kind of back to business as normal.
So what did you change from that Sunday to the Monday?
It just organizationally and realizing how much interaction goes on between the coaches and the head coach, preparing for practice and making sure all your ducks are in a row, so to speak, and how much interaction that I need to have, with the football operations guy in order to, make sure that, we're having a consistent and structured practice and things go smoothly.
Did you notice anything different out of the players? I mean, was it what you had gotten in the past?
Yeah, it really was. The effort was there, the focus was there. We got great senior leaders. Guys just know what to do, once their hand hits the line and the whistle blows. So it was business as usual. The only thing that was different, it was someone different talking to them at the end of practice.
Will you talk a little bit of your prep for Georgia Southern? I mean, obviously, the defense is the part that has gotten the most attention. So if you talk a little bit about dealing with that.
Yeah, it's a different dynamic. Me being here talking to you guys right now instead of being in the film room and preparing for practice. So, I've had to delegate a lot more of that responsibility. Although, I'm actively involved in the defensive game planning, delegating that responsibility to other guys and how to prepare for practice. I've had to do more of that. The offense is the offense. Everything's intact over there. The only exception being Coach Babers not being in the room with them. So they are just continuing to do what they need to do, and hopefully again that the senior leadership is really is kind of the X factor. This group has won a lot of football games doing what they know how to do because they love playing football. So it's just me being able to manage the process and making sure that process just continues to move forward.
Offensively, will you still call one question, Jason? Will you still call the plays on and for the bowl game for the defense?
No. Tom Kaufman will, our defensive line coach. He and I will work together throughout the game. But that's one of the big factors is delegating that responsibility to him and prepping him and making sure that we're on the same page. And I'm still actively involved in the game plan, and we'll work together throughout the game. But he'll have the lead call throughout the game.
I was going to just ask somewhere with the offense, since you've always been used to just the defense. You talked about delegating. How much of the offense are you really getting involved? What kind of look are we going to kind of see with the offense?
Well, we're completely changing everything. We're going to line up 2 tight ends and 2 running backs and run the ball right at them, and we're going to try to milk a lot of clock and make the game really short. I'm just kidding. No, really only all the bad calls. That's when I'm involved. I'm going to leave those guys alone. They just do what they do. We got great leadership, Matt Johnson, and all the other guys on offense. They know what they're doing, and offensively, to be honest with you, I don't have any input with what they're doing.
I was going to ask you, with Coach Babers being so involved with the offense, and then with you taking over for this game, do you look at it differently? I mean, how do you take that approach? Because you said that you had so much confidence in Matt and what those guys are.
It's really about the program and what this program has been built to do. It's been built to go fast on offense, score a lot of points, development on defense and the progress that you've seen throughout the season. It really makes it a perfect match for what we do offensively. So changing the philosophies on offense and defense, it isn't going to change, and it's going to be the same what you guys have seen, throughout the season. And obviously they're different on offense than what we've seen. They bring a different dynamic and a different scheme that we have to prepare for. And again, this is one of the things that hopefully the answers are already in our defense. We're not going to recreate the wheel to stop with what they're doing and what they're successful with on offense.
Will you talk a little bit about, I'm sorry.
That was him.
Will you talk a little bit about their offense stopping? You heard us talk to Taylor. What is it going to take to slow, if not stop, their offense?
That's the key. Stopping or defending. I think there's a difference. So stopping an offense is just, hey, you're in the perfect call, you're in the absolute right call, or you just have a great player that is just kind of he's just the equalizer, and he's just going to beat the guy in front of him. So, our job is to defend what they're doing and hopefully get those guys off schedule because of the lack of execution, or we're in the right call to stop with what they're doing. The big thing with them, they're like any other offense in the fact that they live and die off the big play. Are they able to consistently move the ball down the field? Most offenses aren't, and they're a different style of offense. If we can keep them from getting the explosive plays, like we've done a good job all year, we feel like we're going to be successful defensively.
On the list of odd weeks, week and a half in your professional careers, this last week and a half, where's that on?
Right up there at the top in terms of, are you talking about how crazy it's been, or just different, or?
You kind of have one foot in one place, one in another, I suppose.
Yeah, I've never been in this situation before. That's why it was good to get back in the office and really focus on bowl prep. Because right here we're at Bowling Green, and that's been our focus. It's been a 50-meter focus, and what's ahead of us in this bowl game, and once that's done, then it's refocusing our energy somewhere else.
Did you know Willie Fritz at all when you were at Missouri Southern?
Yeah.
Did that blend?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. We coached against each other 2005. I've worked with several guys that have worked with him, so we have several connections.
Kind of odd that he's running the triple option now.
It is strange. He was not a triple option guy. I think going down to Sam Houston and the offensive coordinator, Doug Roos, another guy that I worked with for about 10 days at Western Illinois, but I coached against him while I was at North Dakota State. It's a unique offense, and I think he bought into that offensive philosophy, and he stuck with it, and now it's been a staple for him. Do you know Willie?
Do you know?
Have you crossed paths with him? Is that why you asked?
Yeah, we can talk more about that on camera.
Okay.
You heard me talking to Taylor a little bit about the defense this year. It was the question mark coming into the season. Will you talk a little bit about your feeling, what it was coming into the year, and where you are about what the defense has done this year?
Obviously I was hired for a reason, and I wouldn't be here, if it wasn't for that reason. It was to come in here and install a system, and I feel like Coach Babers felt like my system was the best fit for his offense, and that was his decision to bring me here. And once I got here, I realized that we didn't have many players coming back with game experience, and but this was too big of an opportunity to pass up, and I was excited to work with Coach Babers and be at Bowling Green, and I can't talk enough or talk highly enough of the guys and the progress that we've made. And this was the sixth place that I've installed this defense at, six different school, 3 at the 1AA level, 1 at the NAI level, 1 at the high school level, and then 1 at the here at Bowling Green. And the one thing that I believe in with this defense is it's a question and answer defense, and it's a player development defense. And I told everybody that would listen after the Tennessee game, that was about the worst opponent at the worst time for what we were doing. I kind of felt like dead man walking going into that game because our guys knew what to do. You get to the why you're doing it, then you're going to have a really good defense. And in my experience of installing this defense, I knew that by the end of the year, we'd have a chance to be a really good defense. And fortunately, we've stayed healthy enough, and we didn't have to replace guys, so we continued that development throughout the course of the season. And there really wasn't anybody that we really were worried about like we were with Tennessee and some of the opponents we had early on. And we felt like we could play good defense against them.
Had to coach against the triple option?
Let me see. It's
Give or take a couple.
I would say it's about 5 or 6 times in my career.
So very rarely. I mean,
Very
how tough is that to kind of, have to put in a whole game plan for? I guess it's better now because it's the last game, but I mean, how difficult is that to put in a game plan? It's obviously, I would assume, completely different than what you've been doing.
It is, but it's still football principles. And really what we do defensively is all based on football principles and having answers. And, I'll get back to the style of offense that has been here and our style of practicing that offense. We get a lot of reps at practice. On any given day, in the spring, we get anywhere from 80 to 100 reps. And when you get that many reps, knowing how to separate those reps into the defenses that you want to install. And, I've worked with a lot of guys who don't believe in a lot of reps. They believe in more individual periods, teaching fundamentals. Well, you teach defense and offense, I suppose, part, whole, and you install it that way, or you install it whole, part. And here, I was able to install the whole thing. And when I'm able to install the whole package, we have answers to defend everything. Maybe not stop everything, again, I get back to that, but we have answers to defend everything you throw at us. And so, again, with the style of offense that we play, we've been able to install principles that we feel are going to be a good fit to stop the triple option.
So that's what you mean when you say it's a question and answer defense. Once you know what the question is, then you install, or your guys are programmed with the answer.
That's right, and there's been games this year, I go back to the Memphis game, even go as far as the Toledo game. They did some things early on that we hadn't prepared for, and that, quite honestly, they scripted their offense, scripted better than we did to start the game. And I knew the answer up in the box. Oh, we got to get to this call, but I'm going, whoa, our kids, I got to make sure we get them back to the sideline to get their mind right and to bring them back. And to kind of give you an example, the Toledo game, they came out in a certain personnel set that they hadn't run much all year. And they started doing it and they were giving us formations in a different personnel set. So it was really good scripting and game planning by them. Really good opening script. We had the answer, and our kids would know the answer, but we had to remind them of it. Whereas that was the game that said to me that, hey, our guys are ready. Basically, we're just going to blanket game plan everything and just tell our guys, hey, we can get to anything. So we ended up getting, and the second half of that game, we held them to like 100 yards of offense. We ended up getting to a call that we hadn't practiced in 5 weeks. Against Western Michigan, they came out, and that great receiver they had, Corey Davis, was just killing us in the first quarter. We got to a call that we hadn't practiced since fall camp. But I couldn't automatically get to that call where they're out on the field. I had to bring them back to the sideline, and we had to get their minds and their eyes right.
So was there a particular point where you can say, listen, this is where I felt the defense came together? I mean, you saw, or you heard Taylor say he thought it was Maryland. Where did you think it came together?
Our guys started believing in Maryland. Our guys were really able to start executing the full defense the second half of Toledo because we were forced to.